Hello, everybody. So, you're working on the podcast for March 18th, and the first thing that you guys are going to do is work on translating between what's called radical form and exponential form. So, it's a format that you haven't seen yet, but if you were to have an exponent, say, to the 2/3 power, I know that's weird. How do you raise something to the 2/3? Well, this is a power, and this is a root. Now, a root is the same thing as a radical, okay? This, as it is written, is a square root. There's nothing that's here in this little spot that's right there. It's the same thing as this, when there's a 2 there. You can also have a cube root. You can have a fourth root. You can have a fifth root. All these symbols generically are called a radical. They're also called roots. Okay? Fifth root, fourth root, third root, cube root, square root. When there's nothing there, it means there's a 2. If you want a cube root and you put nothing there, it means a square root. So anything other than a square root, you have to put the number, and it's a square root, it's optional. Okay, so how do I translate this? Well, the power is 2, and the root is 7. Power root. This would be the same thing as x to the 2 sevenths. Okay, x to the 2 sevenths. Let's try another one. This is the power. This is the root. It doesn't have one of these symbols, so you need one. You're also always translating between it. So this was they gave you the root, write it without the root. You don't have the root symbol, so put the root symbol. It's a cube root, and that's the power, x squared. And that would be your answer. That's what you would type in, okay? Using this symbol, all right? The n that's there means that you're going to put the 3 there. This would be strictly a square root. Okay? Come on. Write it without that symbol. This is the power. This is the root. So it's x to the 4. It's not a very good fraction. Hold on. X to the 4 fifths. Okay? This one has an exponent of 1, and it's x power, not a very good p, over root. So power root, x to the 1/4 is your answer. Okay. Again, the power is on top, root is on the bottom. So it's the 6th root, and it's x to the 5th inside it. The top is the power, the bottom is the root. So it's a cube root of x to the 1st. And if you want, you can leave that to the 1st off. Okay? When there's nothing there, it's a 1. Okay, so now I'm going to start breaking these radicals down. Okay, so let's take this first. Square root of 8. They want you to simplify this. I'm going to write this as 2 times 4. Then I'm going to break this product inside the root into square root of 2 and square root of 4. And I'll prove to you that it works, okay? Have faith at the moment. Square root of 2, I can't touch it. And what do I mean by touch it? Don't you know what the square root of 4 is? Don't you recognize that? Square root of 4? That's just 2. It's like the square root of 16. Well, that's 4. Or the square root of 25 is 5. Or the square root of 9 is 3. It's a perfect square. So this is a product. So I get the square root of 2 times this is worth 2. Just a little cleanup. Typically, this number is supposed to come in front. So it would be 2 and then the square root of 2. And if you wanted to be thorough, you could put a square root symbol there in that little crook thing, okay? But again, without it, all these are square roots because I didn't write one there, okay? So I'm going to think of 162, 162. Well, I'm not sure. I'm going to try dividing by 2 first because I could kind of do that in my head. And I get 81. And I go, oh, okay. Isn't 81 a perfect square? Isn't 9 times 9 81? So this square root of 2 has to stay put, but then this one becomes 9. And then the 9 gets written in front, and you get 9 square roots 2. Okay, so let's try this in Delta Math. Okay, so you would type in 2 and 81. So then what they're saying is that this 81 simplifies. There's no root on it, 9 and 2. There you go. 200. How about 2 and 100? It's 200, isn't it? And isn't 100 a square? So the square of 100 would be 10, and the square root of 2 is still there. Okay, we'll try another one. 192. Let's go. Okay, I need a calculator. So, oh, here, I think I've got this one launched. So we've got 192 divided by 2. It's 96. So 2 and 96. Neither 2 nor the square root of 96 is a perfect square. Okay, so one radical must have 4, 9, all these numbers. Okay, so they don't like 2. Well, oops, that's not what I wanted. How about 192 divided by 4? Because 4 would work, wouldn't it? Yep. Okay. But 48. Won't 4 go into 48 again? So what I'm looking at here is, come on. 4 times 48 is the 192. But 4 will also go into the 48. So 4 times 12 gives you that 48. But then won't 12? Isn't that a 4 times 3? Oops, it's 12. So right now, I've got a 4, a 4, and a 4. So a 4, a 4, and a 4, and a 3. This 3 left over here. Let's try it. So 4 times 4 times 4 times 3. 192. Okay. When you multiply the 4 times 4 times 4, this is 16 times 4 is 64. 64 times 3. 64, don't you recognize as 8? Okay. So 3 and 64. So then that's 8 and the square root of 3. Perfect. Okay. So thank you guys for your time. Have yourself a great one.